We are doing our final predictions. We're going to get one from Trafalgar, one from Rasmussen. Now, the mainstream media says they've been in the tank for Trump. I don't think that's true because Trafalgar called 7 out of 9 of the battleground Senate races correctly in the 2018 midterms. And they called some for Democrats as well. And overall, they have a 92% accuracy rating. Rasmussen Reports has been pretty accurate for the general election. They were one of the only pollsters to get it right. They said that Hillary will win the popular vote and Trump will win the Electoral College. So we have ratings from those two pollsters, but to mix it up, what we're going to do is we're going to start with a base map for the Sebastos crystal ball, which is a prediction based on polling averages. Now they filled in all of the battlegrounds for us. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll start with Rasmussen and we'll start with Rasmussen and kind of fill in the map from there. So Pennsylvania, Rasmussen reports says that Pennsylvania will go to Joe Biden by margin of 3 points. Ohio, Trump is currently +4. The general election, Biden is +1. Job approval, Florida, Biden is +1. North Carolina, Trump is +1. Arizona, Trump is +4. And I don't think they do, they don't do the other battlegrounds. So Rasmussen kind of limited polling data because they are a business. They do sell their polling data to campaigns, not just presidential campaigns, but local campaigns as well. So taking the Rasmussen data into account with the Sebastos crystal ball, we still come out to about 214 for Trump and 324 for Biden. The only thing we flipped were we flipped Florida blue, North Carolina and Arizona remain red, and Pennsylvania is also blue. But if we go ahead and we start with the 2016 actual map and we kind of flip it from there, we flip Florida blue and Pennsylvania blue. Even if Trump carries all of the states that he carried in 2016, according to Rasmussen reports, he will face a narrow defeat. And on the other side, on the more pro-Trump side, more optimistic side for Trump supporters, what we have is we have the Trafalgar group, and again, starting off with that, starting off with that crystal ball, we can, and Trafalgar actually has them nicely arranged on their website. The only one that they don't have on their website is Wisconsin, which we can pull up from Real Clear Politics. So North Carolina is ahead for Trump. Arizona is in the bucket for Trump. Nevada is in the bucket for Biden. Florida is in the bucket for Trump. Michigan is in the bucket for Trump. That's something I think that's a polling error. I'm sorry, I do. But Minnesota is in the bucket just slightly for Biden. and we can go ahead and look at what they have to say about Wisconsin. We'll just pull up Trafalgar. Alright, so it seems like it's glitched out just a little bit. The computer is saying too much data. That's my cellular based Wi-Fi connection. Take my Wi-Fi anywhere. But I believe that they had Wisconsin Pro. So here's the thing. Here, Wisconsin is. I believe they had Wisconsin pro Trump, and that would draw a tie. The Republicans have a majority in the House of Representatives So a tie means Trump wins, and now certainly a tie is not. They also have Trump ahead in Pennsylvania, according to Trafalgar. I'm sorry, I left that out. So, according to Trafalgar, Trump is going to win comfortably, and if he carries all of the states that he did previously, basically their map is the same as the 2016 map, is what Trafalgar is predicting. 306 versus 232. And then we can also go ahead and look at so this is the final prediction for Sebastian's crystal ball. I believe the Economist, Politico, posted their final prediction, and they believe that Biden will carry the Rust Belt. The rest of the states are up for grabs. The rest of them, they did not release their finals. This is still as of October 28th. But they all have it in the bag for Biden, which I don't think the election can be called at this point because they're leaving toss-ups. In the maps that I just did, we didn't leave any toss-ups. If we left toss-ups, I wouldn't have called the election. And we can look at the probabilities from 538, which shows that Biden is going to win in the landslide. I don't believe that. Excuse me. Just to finish off the video, we'll go ahead and we'll make our own prediction, starting with a blank map. I think we can go ahead and mark the solidly red states. That'd be most of the Deep South. Marking off West Virginia. Iowa's not a part of the Deep South. That's part of the Midwest. These are also the Plains states. The Great Plains are probably going to go over Trump. And that is Alaska. So those are the Trump's core states. So he starts off with 126 core states. Democrats, they have much larger core states in terms of population. Basically, all of these tiny little states, they just made them one state, but they complain about Republicans farming for electoral votes. Democrats do the same thing. So New Hampshire is not solid. So in terms of solid states, we still have Illinois. Can't forget about Chicago. Washington, Oregon. Those are actually more of solidly Democratic states. So what we can do is we can see that in the Electoral College, Democrats actually have an advantage because think about it. Trump has to travel to keep his support. He has to travel to rallies put ads across the nation, and Democrats get to concentrate. They can put up a billboard. You put something in Times Square, millions of people are going to see it. So they get to concentrate their efforts in smaller areas, smaller states, and big electoral buckets like New York and California. And I'm sorry, I didn't put Hawaii in the tank. I think they're pretty solidly Democrat. So now we can go ahead with the likely states. We'll start with the blue. These are pretty solid blue states, at least in the last few election cycles. And then we can also go ahead and put down the kind of solid red states, which I think would be Texas. And unless I'm missing something, that's it. The second district is also a toss-up. Oh, and I forgot about Maine's district as well. Alright, so now we have states that are kind of solidly in the tank for either candidate, but Virginia was very close in 2016, so they're not 100% out of reach. And then we can go ahead with the leans, and leans, I think Georgia leans Republican, Iowa and Ohio both lean Republican, and for leaning Democrat, I think we have New Hampshire, and that is pretty much it for leaning Democrat. The rest of these, well, I guess Minnesota was really close in 2016, but we can go ahead and make our predictions based on here. So we have 216 in the bag for Democrats, which I think they'll definitely win, and 203 for the Republicans. I don't think they're going to get any less than that. So we can go ahead and we can start with the states that tilt blue. What I'm going to do for these states is basically the states that Trump lost in 2016. I think with the BLM protests, a lot of liberals are energized. So Nevada and Minnesota, I'm going to tilt them towards Biden. I think the southern states, Florida, Arizona, North Carolina, Trump has in the bag. And now here's the thing. Trump needs to win only one of these sort of Rust Belt states. I think Michigan also tilts blue. I think Wisconsin tilts blue. I think they used to be part of the so-called blue wall. I think his best bet, and to give him the safest victory, would be in Pennsylvania, and that push him up to 278. Not as big as a victory margin as 2016, but I think both candidates have a shot at winning all of these tilted states, and especially those two electoral votes for grabs. I think one in Maine is going to go to the Republicans. I think one in Nebraska is going to go to the Democrats, which they won in 2008. So that pushed Trump up to 279. And I think in total, if we add them up, we have 99. That would be a nice number, wouldn't it? 119 electoral votes really in play this cycle. So that's kind of what we want to watch out for when we're watching. Hopefully, we'll know the result. My mom, who's a lifelong Democrat, she voted for Trump and Forrest, and she went in there and she was surprised that they didn't even ask for voter ID. So I think there is a hidden Trump vote. I definitely think this election is going to be more energized, and we're going to have record turnout as compared to 2016. But my prediction is so we have a pretty even prediction here, 259. I think it's a toss up, uh, but I believe that Trump can buff it out in Pennsylvania if he really needs to. So just because I have to say something, I really believe it's a toss up of 50-50. But as in terms of my sort of official prediction, I believe Donald Trump will win his re-election, and hopefully he does. All right, thank you so much for watching. Please let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and have a wonderful night.